Greetings from Snake Mountain Boat Works on Wednesday, November 14, 2018. Here's an update on the 1938 19-foot Chris Craft dual cockpit forward custom runabout true 5200 bottom project. As you can see, I have completely denuded the port side of the bottom, and what I've found has been extremely gratifying. Nary any evidence of any rot, any deterioration, any horrible fixes. Well, there's one horrible fix, let's put that in quotes, to one brace on the other side that I'll show you shortly. So this side is totally cleaned off and must now be scraped and cleaned and prepared for the next step. And the next step will be the porcupine step. Every one of these holes in the entire frame will be filled with hard rock maple toothpicks and Gorilla Glue, and then shaved off flush to the surface. We do that so that when we sink screws for the new bottom, the screws don't disappear into old holes. Here we have all of the intermediate, I call them battens, frames that run in between the major frames. One bit of advice here: number them from aft to bow before you start taking them off. We did not do that in one of our very first 5200 bottoms and went through literal hell. They look like they're all different until you're beneath the boat, upside down, with the attached side slathered with 5200, and you stick it up against the bilge and say, oh my God, this is the wrong one. It doesn't fit. Number them. It's trivially easy. Climb underneath. Pick your smallest guy. That's not me here, so I didn't have to do it. If we walk over to the starboard side, first we see a keel that's absolutely straight, unwavering, not the least bit of any evidence of hog or deterioration, but it's right here that somebody, see that frame member with the divot cut out of it? Well, let's go around to the side and take a look at it from a different perspective. Let's get the garbage can out of the way. This is the one disappointment. My guess is, since this bottom had never been off before, this split occurred somewhere in the boat's life. There is a strip of brass that runs under here. This is directly beneath, I would say, here's the stuffing box. So what would you guess? This is directly beneath the tail end of the engine. This strip of brass, which runs all the way across and is attached all along, adds some additional stability to the frame in this point. Sometime in its life, it split. So some intellectual genius said, oh, we've got 5200, and simply filled this whole cavity, filled in here so that we no longer had a weep hole for water to run lengthwise, with 5200, and said, there, that's pretty good. The right thing to do, which is what we will do, is to replace this one frame. It runs right out to the edge of the boat, and we will have to release a couple of screws right there and there, and this has some screws that run laterally that hold this whole corner together. We'll simply remove all of that and reproduce this frame. Moving forward on the starboard side, I thought, as I promised, it would be interesting to take a look at how we go about doing what we're doing at this stage. You can see here I have released these screws. The process is to take the cutter and the Runabout cutter. This is the second from the smallest in our set, the set that I gave you a link to in the previous video. And we simply run it into each counterpiece. Hear that noise? That tells you you've reached the screw. Don't keep grinding. Several of these, here's an example. Michael got a little too aggressive. I rounded the top off, and I finally had to put a little tiny file down in here to open this slot up so that I could release this screw. So once you've got them opened up, the next step is to clean them out. I happen to like this awl. It does get dull as I grind away into the brass, but I just go to our big belt sander and sharpen the tip again when I must. And so I'm going to dig each of these out, find the slot, and when I think I've got them pretty clean, I hit with an air chuck, and then the next step is to use an impact drill, not a just standard drill gun. Use an impact because you can control it. And what you want to do is find the slot, and it takes some practice, and I am not as good as RJ is at this, but you don't want to just turn this puppy on and let her fly, because all you'll do is grind off the top of the screw head, and then you're in a world of hurt and you have to use a grab it, and that's no fun. See, there I'm getting too anxious. The way the bottom is secured, these long, almost 3-inch long screws, I'd say 2.5 anyway, number 8s run through the frames and then through the battens. We'll see the number 6 screws. So we just keep working. And as you can see on the starboard face, I have the number 1 plank. There are 5 planks on each face of the bottom in this boat. 5 planks from the keel right there to the chine. I've got the number 1 plank fully off. The A sections of 2, 3, and 4 are off. As I remove each plank, I number it. So the plank that was here would be number 2. It's the aftmost plank, so it's number 2A starboard for the starboard side. Again, as with the battens, if you fail to number the planks, you'll play hell when it's time to do your bottom. This planking is original to this boat. There's no question about it. This boat has never been apart. We find no evidence as we pull the bottom off of any extra holes, any attempt to fill old holes. This is original. Save for 4 boards, all 4 of which are immediately beneath the engine. It's the number 1A plank on each side, which runs somewhere into about here. Oh, right here, you can see the butt block. And the number 2 plank, which runs up to this joint, are really oil soaked. And could I scrape it? I could scrape it. Would it hold paint? Would it hold 5200? I can't be sure. So we will be able to save almost all of the boards, everything save 4 that we will reproduce and use in place of the original planks. The rest of this mahogany, it's just amazing. It is so dense, so hard, so completely unaffected by 80 years on the bottom of this boat that is truly a wonder to behold. So, that said, it's time to grab the drill and get back to work. So there's our update on Wednesday, November 14, 2018, on the true 5200 bottom being applied to the 1938 19-foot Chris Craft double cockpit forward custom runabout Flyin By. Thank you so much. Bye-bye for now from Snake Mountain Boat Works.